Hey, what's up guys? John here. If you are a renter, a property owner, or a business owner inside of America, you have to pay very, very close attention to what's unfolding inside of the job market and this massive new shift that's going to change housing in America forever. Look at this. 4 days ago, the U.S. jobs added 130,000, right? NBC News, then CNBC. U.S. payrolls rose by 130,000 jobs 5 days ago.
The first U.S. jobs report of 2026 just came out moments ago, and the data shows 130,000 jobs were added in January.
130,000 jobs created in the month of January.
Good job report numbers. You know, everyone's excited about it. Then this came out. 2.1 million views. Breaking. U.S. jobs numbers were revised down by 1,029,000 jobs in 2025, the largest annual revision in at least 20 years. So bigger than 2020, bigger than the Great Financial Crisis. This follows downward revisions of 818,000 in 2024 and 306,000 in 2023. In total, down 2.153 million jobs been revised out of the initial reported jobs data over the last 3 years. Since 2019, 2.5 million jobs have been erased from official data, with negative revisions occurring 6 out of the last 7 years. By comparison, 2009 and 2010, combined downward revisions were roughly 1.2 million. What is happening with the U.S. labor market? So 2 times worse than the Great Financial Crisis, which some people look at like a 1929 type of crash. And we're double that right now. The main difference, though, is back during the Great Financial Crisis, all the mainstream media outlets were ringing the bell.
The Dow tumbled more than 500 points.
And all eyes were on the housing market. Everyone was talking about the mortgage meltdown.
Lehman Brothers is going bankrupt.
National Association of Realtors reported the worst month-to-month drop in existing home sales since they started keeping track in the late 90s.
One of the most profound events in generations, with huge consequences for the American economy and households throughout the country.
And it was a crisis. But this time, there's a million crises. Every day there's some breaking story and everyone's attention is over here, over there, and focused on different things. And the media comes out and they say everything's great, the job market's good, inflation's good. Then it quietly gets revised or taken back. But by that point, it's already lost the momentum of the story and just continues to compound this way. But when you look at how big this actually is, it's unbelievable. Like, for example, Delaware. Delaware has 469,000, 489,000 people working there. And you look at Maine, right? Maine has 700,000. You're talking about 2 times the size of Maine and Delaware's entire workforce were quietly revised. Double that over the last 6 years. Now, this is the big shift that's going to unfold inside of the U.S. economy. There's no doubt about it. So if you're a real estate investor, a landlord, a renter, a business owner, or just an American, pay attention to this. Rent now, pay later. This came out very, like 3 weeks ago. You may soon be able to use buy now, pay later plan for your rent. What to know, right? And so they're talking about this, last month. Like, this is a new offer, right? This is the new loan offer that they're giving tenants. Look how big this is now. One installment company, 1.5 million customers, who sends $2 billion per month in rent through its systems. So it just came out. They're already pumping $2 billion a month through it, right? Now, $2 billion a month might not sound like that much for rent, but I can promise you that number is going to multiply over the coming quarter, over the coming year, over the next couple of years. It's going to be a massive, massive industry. If you look at subprime auto loans, how big of an industry that is, buy now, pay later, it's already a really big industry. But look at title loans, car title loans, installment loans, payday loans. These loan products are going to continue to explode because people aren't going to have the jobs. They're not going to have the options. And so then these lenders are going to be able to step in and say, hey, look, we'll be able to split your rent for you so you don't get evicted. And people will sign up for it. Now, look at how this is all coming to fruition. As housing costs climb, renters are turning to rent now, pay later installment plans that cover the rent. Rent now, pay later services pay the full rent to the landlord on the due date, then collect the amount from the tenant over 2 or more installments during the month. Our firm is the latest company to test a new rent product, piloting a rent now, pay later program that last month that charges renters no interest or late fees. The pitch is that dividing up the large expense like rent helps people with volatile paychecks, especially gig work and lower income households. Now, there are no fees if you pay on time, just like a credit card, right? You could spend 50 grand on your credit card, so long as you pay it inside of that statement. But after that statement date, then you have interest, right? Then you have fees. Same thing applies here. Now, here's the prediction of what the future is going to look like over just the next 4 years. I said, how popular will rent now, pay later be by 2030? Market projections. The U.S. buy now, pay later market is expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 24.3 from 2023 to 2030, reaching $184 billion. This expansion indicates the flexible payment options will become the standard not just for retail, but for high-ticket recurring expenses like rent. Affordability crisis, with over half of all renters paying more than 30% of their income on housing, the need to manage cash flow at the start of the month is critical. Large landlords are increasingly accepting rent-splitting apps such as Flex as a standard payment option, which will dramatically increase adoption rates by 2030. These services allow tenants to break up one large payment into smaller installments, reducing the likelihood of late fees or evictions, even though they come with service fees. Now, this is where landlords are going to see this and say, look, especially the bigger landlords, mid-sized landlords, bigger landlords are going to see this and say, okay, well, the overall middle income in America is struggling. People need to rent. They can't afford to buy. There's more demand to be a renter, right? And so they're going to rent. And as that's beginning to happen, these landlords are going to say, we'll accept buy now, pay later, rent now, pay later options. We will, for an increased fee, right? They're going to see landlords tacking this on as some amenities fee. And they even talk about this here, saying that the regulatory scrutiny, financial risk, experts warn that rent now, pay later is a ticket to overspending. It's often used by individuals with lower credit scores around 604 median and high debt burdens, which could lead to increased financial instability. Here, they say in the future, renter nation trends suggest that people will increasingly rent everything from housing to vehicles to clothing and lifestyle services. And then they said that rising costs for housing, interest rates, and renting single-family homes or smart enabled apartments more appealing than buying. Lifestyle, clothing, furniture, even event decor and tools will be rented instead of purchased, catering to more transient and sustainable lifestyle. This shift is heavily driven by Gen Z, who prioritize convenience, sustainability, and flexibility over long-term ownership, with a preference for activated living spaces. And so they're saying that even technology and appliances, high-speed integrated and smart home tech, e.g. in-unit laundry, advanced Wi-Fi, will be standard, often bundled in rent. So if you think about this, if you're a landlord, 2028, 2029, and your tenants, they want to break down their payment. Let's say their rent's $1,500 for easy math for this example. It's $1,500. Say, okay, well, for $1,550, we will accept rent now, pay later. And we'll also include Wi-Fi, we'll include the laundry services, we'll include all this for an extra $100 a month. That's $1,650, right? So you're gonna start seeing landlords, as the job market starts to get harder and harder and harder, step in and become bigger. They're gonna buy more and more and more properties. I think we can all agree that mom and pop landlords and smaller homeowners that own one property, maybe two, are gonna struggle more over the bigger landlords. And so as this real estate transfer begins to happen, and you start to see a more of a commercial adoption and the way of looking at housing, not so much from the perspective of, housing as a human right, but more as a business, they're gonna monetize that business, and they're gonna monetize it as effectively as they possibly can. And when tenants don't have an option, they will have to pay, right? That's what's going to unfold. And so when you look at the job market and you see this big shift with inflation, you can see very, very clearly that everything is about to change in housing. And so the next year, 2 years, 3 years, it is imperative to get your hands on assets, especially assets that produce income. If you're going to buy a house, I would not listen to the mortgage lender saying that you should spend 50% of gross income on your mortgage. I believe the smart path, if you're going to get a mortgage, 20%, maybe 22% of gross monthly income on a mortgage. Like, you want to really be able to afford that mortgage, because insurance is going to go up, taxes are going to go up, food's going to go up, inflation is going to go up, everything else is going to go up. And so as that goes up, you need room to give. You don't want to put yourself at 50% gross income on a mortgage, everything else goes up, now you can't afford your mortgage, and you lose your home, right? A lot of people inside of 2021 and 2022, they were borrowing, but most of these people got a great interest rate, so it's different for them. But a lot of people now borrowing 7%, 6.5%, 7% interest rate, it's a little bit different. The housing market is harder to navigate. But this is, it's going to be, I mean, here they say that it's going to be high interest rates and the rising costs that are going to make renting more appealing, right? So right now, if you go out there and you're buying single family homes for rentals, it could be a really, really great path if you pick the right property, the right area, you have the right management, you have the right tenant in place, and the right business, the right business plan to operate that property. But I'm curious as to what do you think about this situation? 2.5 million is the number we all need to remember. 2.5 million since 2019. That's massive. Imagine what this is going to do as AI and robotics and tech and all that begin to take hold over the next year, 2 years, 3 years. I think things are just going to continue. This massive shift in wealth divide will amplify. Let's have a conversation about this below. I'm very curious as to your opinion on this, and I'll catch you next video.